once upon a time, and welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. Without wasting time, let me take you straight into today's story. There was a boy named Daniel. From the very beginning of his life, he carried a weight most children never know. He was abandoned as a baby. His parents left him behind, and he grew up in an orphanage surrounded by other children who were also searching for love, care, and stability. For Daniel, nights were the hardest. He would often lie awake staring at the ceiling, wondering why his mother didn't want him, why his father had disappeared, and why he felt invisible to the world. That question, why was I not enough, echoed in his mind every single day. As he grew older, life outside the orphanage did not offer comfort. When he turned 13, he had to leave the only place he knew and face the world on his own. With no money, no family, and no support, Daniel struggled just to survive. He worked small jobs, cleaning streets, carrying boxes, washing dishes in restaurants, anything that gave him a little bit of food and a place to sleep for the night. Sometimes he went to bed hungry, his stomach aching. Sometimes he wore the same clothes for weeks until they were too torn to cover him properly. People around him often looked down on him, laughed at him, and told him he would never be more than a poor, forgotten boy. But inside, Daniel carried something powerful: determination. He refused to let his past decide his future. Every insult, every hardship, every moment of pain became fuel for his will to change his life. One day, while working at a small cafe, Daniel overheard two businessmen talking. They were discussing ideas, opportunities, and dreams of building companies. For most people, it was just a normal conversation. But for Daniel, it was a spark. For the first time, he realized that success was not reserved for a chosen few. Success was possible for anyone who was willing to work hard and never give up. From that day forward, Daniel made a promise to himself. I will not be a victim of my past. I will write my own future. He began to read books, at first borrowed and sometimes even picked up from the trash. He studied business, finance, self-improvement, and stories of people who rose from nothing to greatness. He didn't have a teacher, he didn't have a mentor. He had only his hunger to learn. During the day, he worked long hours. At night, he studied under the dim light of a cheap lamp in his tiny rented room. He learned how money works, how businesses grow, and how successful people think. Years passed, and Daniel never stopped moving forward. He saved every little coin he could. While his friends spent their wages on temporary pleasures, Daniel invested his money, sometimes in books, sometimes in small opportunities. He failed many times. He started small projects that collapsed. He lost money. He faced betrayal from people he trusted. Each failure could have broken him, but instead he used every failure as a lesson, every mistake as a stepping stone. Slowly, his life began to change. From the boy who once had nothing, Daniel became a young man with vision. He opened his first small business, a shop selling everyday goods. It was not much, but for him, it was the first real proof that his dream was possible. That shop taught him discipline, patience, and the value of persistence. He woke up before sunrise and worked until midnight. Sometimes he slept on the floor of his shop, too tired to walk home, but he never complained because he knew he was building a foundation. As years went by, that small shop grew into something larger. Daniel expanded, opened more stores, and created jobs for people who once looked at him with pity. The boy who was once abandoned and forgotten was now helping others feed their families. But Daniel's journey was not only about money or business. It was about healing. It was about proving to himself that pain could be turned into power. He realized that true success is not measured only by wealth, but by the strength it takes to rise when the world pushes you down. Today, Daniel is a respected businessman. He lives in a beautiful home, he travels the world, and he gives speeches to young people who feel hopeless, just like he once did. When people see him now, they see success. But what they don't always see is the boy who cried himself to sleep, the teenager who worked endless hours just to eat, the young man who was told he would never be anything. Daniel often says, "I am not successful because I was lucky. I am successful because I refused to give up." And perhaps the most beautiful part of his story is this: he holds no anger toward the parents who abandoned him. Instead, he feels gratitude, because their absence forced him to grow stronger, to fight harder, and to discover the kind of strength he never knew he had. Daniel's story reminds us all of a simple but powerful truth. It doesn't matter where you begin, it matters how you rise. So if you are listening to this right now and you feel broken, forgotten, or lost, remember Daniel. Remember that your struggles do not define you, they prepare you. Remember that even the deepest pain can be the foundation of your strength. And most importantly, remember this: your story is not over yet. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who might need hope, and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring stories.